Hello community, welcome back to my channel, Decipher IELTS with Holly. My name is Holly and I'm so excited to see you guys again. Today I'll continue sharing with you the tips and tricks that you can use to achieve the optimum score on the IELTS exam. There are 4 main sessions on the IELTS exam: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The overall score of the band is calculated as the average of the individual scores of each sessions. So as you can see, the higher individual score you get in each session, the higher your overall score is. For some international students, I think writing and speaking are more challenging than reading and listening. So if you want to achieve the higher score, we can do a lot of things to get the highest score as possible on listening and reading part. So today I'm gonna focus on listening again, and I can tell you that achieving band 9 on the listening test is not that hard. If you really focus and really pay attention to what you're doing, you can get what you want. So before I set for the exam, I did practice a lot, and through my personal experience, I realized that something that I gained from my studying process. And first, I really need to stay focused during my exam. I have only 30 minutes to just showcase and finish my exam, and use that score to prove to the world that I'm good at English and I'm ready to study in an English speaking environment. So there's a lot of tips and tricks on the internet, on the textbooks, and you will notice that people recommend you to scan or skim the listening context before you really listen for the exam, and I think that's a very legitimate advice. The thing is, should you look through all of the 4 parts of the listening test, or which session should you focus first? In my personal experience, there are only 55 seconds at the beginning of the test for the narrative video, when the people say, oh, this is the IELTS listening test, etc. Use that time to skim the part 1 of the test and just focus on the part 1. From my personal experience, because you don't have a lot of time to just look through a lot of things, and you better focus on something that you're sure that you can do well and gain the confidence. So first, try to skim the first part of your IELTS listening test. And second, know your gray area, know your mistakes. I recommend you to start log in, write down and note down your common mistakes. Where do you usually have mistake? Is it pronunciation? Is it vocabularies? Is it adjective, etc.? Because just doing so, you will realize the area for improvement, and you yourself know better about yourself than anybody else. The common mistakes may vary from individual to individual, but in my personal observation, international students usually mistake between the plurals, singulars, pronunciation, and sometimes just the words that are pronounced the same, but literally are 2 different words. For example, the word eyes, this means our eyes, and the eyes mean the snow, the eyes from the snow behind my back. So when the international student or when the student try to fill in the blank, sometimes they don't know, is it an eyes or is it an eyes, the word eyes. So you need to really read the passage and know the context of the passage. For example, if the passage is talking about drink or weather or something, you may know that that's the eyes, I-C-E, the word that you need to fill in the blank, just for example. Or if you're listening to the passage about biology, about human body, then definitely that's the words you need to write down maybe the eyes, the eyes. So really understand the passage and stay focused and pay attention to what you're doing. Just by doing so, you will understand and avoid the careless mistake. So the third thing that I would say is to put yourself in the shoes of the test maker. The main purpose of the exam is to test your comprehension skills and your ability to understand and comprehend English well. It's not only just about your score, but also to determine whether you are ready and whether you are proficient enough to study with international students or people from a native English-speaking country, for example. So try to listen not just for the words, but for the abstract meaning. Like, what is it about? What do they want to say about this passage? And the best way to do that is to keep practicing and practicing and practicing. And for me, before I sat for the exam, I studied all of the 15 textbooks, the Cambridge IELTS practice test, and I found they extremely useful. And after that, I registered for an exam with British Council, and I got an access to the Road to IELTS. And I believe that the Road to IELTS materials are so much harder than the IELTS, the Cambridge practice test. But if you can master the contents on the Road to IELTS exam, I believe that the real IELTS exam is just a piece of cake. It's really easy for you. So keep practicing. Know about your common mistake. Put yourself in the shoes of the test makers, and be really focused on the exam, because you have only 30 minutes to prove and to showcase that, hey, I'm good at English, I'm ready, So that's it for today, and in the next couple of videos, I'm gonna put a real example and elaborate my points of view. Like, for example, if you want to say, if you try to avoid careless mistake, what does that mean, in which context, etc. So stay tuned for the new videos, and happy learning.